Hello there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an animation sequence for your MIDI-controlled skull. The first thing to do is connect everything together. Start by making sure your MIDI interface is installed on your computer and the drivers are loaded. Next, use the custom MIDI cable that was included with your skull to connect the output jack on your MIDI interface to the input jack on the bottom of the skull. If you have a MIDI keyboard, you can use a standard MIDI cable to connect its MIDI out jack to the in jack on the MIDI interface. If you don't have a keyboard, don't worry about it. The software we'll be using has a built-in virtual keyboard that will work just fine. To control your skull, you can use any sequencing software you'd like, but for this tutorial, we'll be using a program called Reaper. If you don't have it installed already, you can download it at reaper.fm. Reaper is shareware, but they let you play with it for 30 days before they ask you to buy it, and it's not crippled in any way. Turn on the skull by flipping the switch on the bottom to the sensor position. Now we're ready to start. After you open Reaper, this is what you'll see. The first thing you need to do is import the audio file you're going to synchronize your animation to. Click the Insert menu, then choose Media File. Browse to the file you want to import and double-click on it. This creates a new audio track in Reaper that contains the audio clip you just imported. To test the audio track, click the Rewind button to move to the beginning of the sequence, then press play. You should hear your sound file being played. Click Stop and rewind to the beginning. The next thing you need to do is insert a MIDI track. This is going to be your first animation track. Click the AR button to arm the track for recording. You need to configure the new track as a MIDI track, so click the drop-down box here. Click MIDI Input, click All MIDI Inputs, then All Channels. Now commands from any MIDI controller you have connected to your computer will get recorded into this track. If you don't have a hardware keyboard, Reaper comes with a built-in virtual keyboard that you can use. Click View, then select Show Virtual MIDI Keyboard. Notice that when you click on the keys, the red meter lights up indicating that the track is receiving MIDI data. Now you need to set the output port for this track. Click on the I/O button. Drop down the box that says MIDI Hardware Output. Then select the MIDI port you have your skull connected to. Click the red X to close the box. Next, click the button that looks like a little speaker icon. This turns on Record Monitoring. Now you'll notice that every time I click on a key, the data gets passed through to the skull and it moves and lights up. This track will be for the jaw, so double-click in the title area and type the name in. This makes it easier to tell the tracks apart when you have several of them. Now you're ready to click Record and start performing your animation.
Bones are heard of, but seldom seen, except each year round Halloween. But I've got a shockaroo. Right now there's a skeleton locked up inside of you.
Once you've finished the jaw animation for the whole song, click Stop. A window will pop up asking if you want to save the file you just recorded. Click Save All. Now you may notice that the new clip is longer than the original audio clip. To get rid of the extra length, first click the button that looks like a magnet to turn off snapping. Hover the mouse over the right edge of the clip until it turns into a left and right arrow. Click and drag until the clips are of the same length. Test out the jaw animation track. Click Rewind, then play.
Bones are heard of.
Everything appears to be working just fine. Now you need to repeat the process to animate the skull's eyes. Click the AR button to disarm the jaw track. Right-click on the track and select Duplicate Selected Tracks. This creates a new MIDI track with the same settings you used before. You don't want to use the same clip you recorded for the jaw, so click on the extra clip and press the delete key. Now you have a fresh track that's ready for a new animation. Name the new track Eyes, Armored for recording, then press Record. Use the keyboard to animate the skull's eyes.
Bones are heard of, but seldom seen, except each year round Halloween. But I've got a shockaroo. Right now there's a skeleton locked up inside of you.
When you are finished, click Stop, then Save All. Trim the end of the new clip so that they're all the same length. Disarm the track, rewind it, and click Play to test the completed animation.
Bones are heard of, but seldom seen, except each year round.
This would be a good time to save your project. Click the File menu, then select Save Project. Type in a file name, then click Save. One last thing I want to show you is the repeat button. You can turn this on to make your animation loop over and over again. Well, that's it. Have fun making animation sequences for your MIDI-controlled skull.
Bones are heard of, but seldom seen, except each year round Halloween. But I've got a shockaroo. Right now there's a skeleton locked up inside of you.